Can you see my screen? Right, good. So right on Illustrator, it's a different ball game. Actually different. So I use Illustrator more often. That's the reason it's super easy for me in Illustrator to navigate anything rather than Canva. So Illustrator is my favorite tool when it comes to design. So you need to do in Illustrator, first things you go to your shape tool, right? So shape tool is you might find it as rectangle tool. So the default tool that pops up will show you rectangle tool. What happens is there is a smaller arrow right there. Either right click or press your left click, hold. You can hold and pop up other tools for you. As you have your rectangle, your rounded rectangle, your ellipse tool, which is your circle. I use it to draw both your oval shape, your sphere shape, and your circle. And you have a polygon shape. You're having so many sides in a particular shape. And we have our start tool. So we're going to start with our ellipse because we want to draw a circle. So to draw a circle, this is actually a tool for drawing a sphere. So if you click, hold, and drag, it's not going to give you a circle. Never give you a perfect circle. So what we need is a circle. So to draw a circle, what you need to do is click on Shift, hold, and drag. Okay, so you click on Shift, hold, and drag, and what you're going to get is going to be a perfect circle. So we need a circle here. And we can go back to our direct selection tool to be able to move these elements wherever we want. And we're going to just have this here. And we're going to then go back to this tool, click, hold, and we're going to choose rounded rectangle, right? We have this. We have this in Illustrator. You can actually control is with what we call our direct selection tool. So from our design, you see it's very rounded. What we're trying to achieve is very rounded, but this is slightly rounded. So in Illustrator, what you do is you click on direct selection tool. When you select direct selection tool, on this tool, you find points. We call them anchor points. So on these anchor points, you can click on any of them, hold and drag. See what's happening. You're making your edges more rounded. Okay, so your edges become more rounded. So click, hold, and drag, and we want it to be on this level. That's just fine. And we're going to have this here. Okay, so we're then finally going to pull this here. And you see here, you can actually modify by dragging on the edges, like how you want it to stretch or how wide you want it to be. Okay, so let's have this now here. All right, is a good composition. And duplicates, just click on Alt and drag. Click on the elements, click Alt and drag. It's going to duplicate that for you. No, let's duplicate this instead. Click Alt. You can see arrow changes. Your arrow now is just one arrow. When you click Alt, it's going to look like double arrows are appearing right there. Black and a white arrow. That tells you you're ready to duplicate. So click, let's click and drag, and then you have a duplicate already. Okay, and when you have these duplicates, what you need to do is fine. All right, so the next tool, we need a square. All right, so using our rectangle tool, because we want a square, all sides equal, you click on your rectangle tool, just tap your screen, it's going to pop up this feature for you. So this tells you you can enter the dimension instead. So we want it to be a perfect square. So we're going to use 500 as our width and then 500 as our height. Right, too big, but then we can reduce this. So this gives us a perfect square rather than getting it wrong. So let's click on our direct selection tool again. We need to make this rounded. So let's have it rounded again. And we can, this is right here. You can place this right here. Okay, so now that we have all of our elements on our art board, what like the challenge we were facing on Canva earlier, right here in Illustrator, you can actually pick your colors. Okay, so if you see a color palette that you want to work with and you are interested in working with, it's super easy here. All you need to do is use your eyedropper tool. So you click on this shape. Now this is what colors we're trying to get here, the color palette you want to work with. So what you do is you click on the element and you go to your eyedropper tool. Your eyedropper tool, the shortcuts to that is simply clicking eye. All right. When you click eye, you're going to get your eyedropper to active, and all you need to do is go to that particular color. You can see this eyedropper to hovering around my screen. If I click on this color, it's going to change to this color. If I click here, you see what's happening. It's changing to the color. It's picking that exact color. All right. So it's easy to work with a particular color palette. All right, using your eyedropper tool. So what we want is the blue. Let's still try to get this color palette. So this is how you also get color palettes in Illustrator. If you don't have a color palette you're working with and you already have a base color, you know your base color, and what you want to do is to get colors that will match with your base color. What you do is you go to your that if you don't have this panel activated, excuse me, yes, your color palettes. I will show you how to activate that. Yeah, simply go to your Windows panel, your Windows on your menu bar, the top menu bar here, your Windows. When you click on Windows, you're going to find color. All right. You're going to find color. So once you click that, the color palette is going to pop up for you. So what we want to do is make sure your selection tool is active. Select that element. Okay. So when you click on your color palette, go to the tab that says your color guide. Okay. When you go to color guide, your color guide is going to pop up like this, and it's already selecting this blue, this shade of blue, as our base color here. So what you need to do is click on this drop down. There's a drop down, so you're going to find the color, the base color right here, and we're seeing a color scheme already showing here. All right, you're going to see different shades and different tints. So click on the drop down. There's an arrow right here on this right part. When you click on this drop down, you're now going to see the different color palettes, all right, available here. So we're seeing our complementary, split complementary, left complementary, right color, analogous, monochromatic, shades, triad, tetrad, and all the likes of it. So there are different color palettes here. So you just scroll through to know the color palette you are to work with. So what's important is ensure that the color palette you're working with, they actually match. All right. So as you proceed, you are going to find out that you can actually create your own colors. Okay. But that comes with consistent practice. All right. So for now, as a beginner, you can stick with the color wheel. All right, sticking with the color wheel actually helps you a lot, and it makes your work super easier rather than trying to get miscolors for yourself. All right, so it's important that for now you just stick with the particular color palettes, all right, that actually falls in line following the rules, okay, and the color scheme. So it's obvious from what we have here, we're unable to get this particular color palette from color.adobe.com, and we're still unable to get it here in Illustrator. So that means this color palette that we have here is a custom color palette. All right, this custom made color palette. All right, so we can have something similar. So what happens is the designer here mixed different color palettes together, and that really worked well for the design. Okay, and you getting your own custom palette, like I mentioned earlier, comes from consistent practice over time. Okay, so I'm just going to check out a color palette that seems really close to what we're going to be working with. And I like this split complementary. I actually have this and the yellow. So the addition she did was using the lilac color. All right, so if you check your split complementary, you're going to find this yellow and this color, those two colors. So the extra color was the light purple color, which she added, which added a good flair to the design. So we're working with this palette. All we need to do now is change these major colors. All right. So we're going to change this now using this color palette, changing this to yellow, and we're going to have to change this. Remember, well, for this project, we're working with split complementary color scheme. Okay, change this to this, and then leave this here. And what we can do is now use our eyedropper to pick her color, this particular color. All right, and there we have it, the whole color mix. Okay. All right, so now that we have the colors out, there's still something in the design. Let me expand. I'm going to try to expand this design so we get to see an extra addition in this design that we can also add here in Illustrator. So right in this design, you see that this circle actually cuts across this shape. Okay, so we can actually try mimicking that effect as well. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to go here now in Illustrator. For every shape, we have our fill and our stroke. So the fill is the color right inside, and the stroke is the bound outside it that surrounds it. Okay, so this on your toolbar, just below your toolbar, is where you're going to find your fill and your stroke. So the fill is blue right now. We click on the stroke and there's no stroke. So what we're going to do is going to be to add a stroke. So there are three icons right below where you can add either a color, gradient, or none. Okay, so right after this, I just hope you can see where my mouse is hovering. Just follow my mouse. Okay, right after this, just below it, you find color, gradient, and no color at all, or no stroke at all. So we've activated this color. what we're going to do next is double click on this color, rather double click on the stroke itself. We want to change the color to white. So now that we've changed the color to white, what we're going to do next is come to our control panel. In your control panel, this is where you can control the weight of the stroke. So if you want the stroke to be thin or thicker, okay, so when you come to your control panel, let's try 10. We can even make it bigger. Let's do 14 and then bring it close. So when we bring it close, remember we're working with layers. So go to your layer panel. Let's go to our layer panel. Yes, right in your control panel, you're going to find layers. So let's bring down our layer panel, and your layer panel, the elements that is above usually supersedes, okay, the order. So if what we can see here, this element is above this particular rounded rectangle is above this, and that's the reason we're having what's going on here. So you can actually come to your layer panel and move just okay on your layer panel. Yes, so I just dragged it up. That works. The shortcuts to moving layers in your layer panel, another shortcut you can work with is holding control and then your square brackets. There are two square brackets, okay? If you click on the right side of your square bracket, it's going up, okay? But if you click on the right side of your square brackets, that layer is going to go up. When you click the one on your left hand side, the layer is going to come down. So that's just the shortcut. Or you could come to the layer and then pull the layer you want, the element you want to be above, just right above the order. So here we have this. Now let's still try to reduce the weight. The weight seems too much, still too much. All right, fine. So you see, we already have that effect here, like it's cutting across this. Okay, so now that we have this, let's work on our test. Simply click on your type 2. All right, so simply click on your type 2. Okay, and we're going to have in caps lock ask. I'm going to change the type to all right, so I'm using this typography, Bebas Neue. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You can just say Bebas Neue. Okay. And we're going to keep this here. Make it bigger. All right. We're going to replicate this. 3, 4. All right. We're going to have what right here. So I will show us how you align text in Illustrator once I'm done typing this. aligning test here is different. You have you. All right. Beautiful. So how do you aligning test here? What you simply do is click on the elements you want to align, hold shift, okay, and click on the other elements you want that test to align to. So I want to align ask to this circle, all right, to this blue circle. So I've just selected by holding shift, I selected ask the test, and still holding shift, I have selected the circle. So what I want to do is I want to align ask to circle. So after that, remove your hands from shift, then click on the element you want the test to be aligned to. Now I'm going to click again on the circle. You see it's going to be thicker. The selection becomes thicker, meaning I want this ask to be properly aligned to this circle. So what you do is go to your control panel. You're going to find the align. If you can't find it, go to Windows. When Windows pop up, you're going to find align. Just click on it and that panel is going to come up for you. All right, click on the align panel in Windows and that panel will come up for you. So I said click the test, hold shift, click the circle, remove your hands from shift, and then click the circle where you want the test aligned to again. All right, I hope that is clear. Then you come to your align. I want it to align horizontally. Okay, perfect. And I want it to align vertically. Exactly. So this keeps my test properly aligned in the middle. Okay, so we do same for this. Click, hold shift, click on the other element, remove your hands from shift, and then click on where you want it aligned. Same thing. I want it horizontally aligned and I want it vertically aligned. Okay, that works. Same thing here, horizontal and vertical. So we're seeing the movement that's already happening. So this actually is the only certainty you have that your test is properly aligned. Your test must be aligned to give a better balance and visual aesthetics for people that are going to see your work. So perfect. We have a properly aligned test here and a good composition. So what we're going to work on finally would be test colors, the colors of our test. Simply click on the color, select your eyedropper, and we have it. Click on the test, click on your eyedropper, and we're going to have blue here. Sorry, blue. Perfect. Click on the test, eyedropper, still blue. And then click on this test, eyedropper, click on eye to get your eyedropper pop up. Yes, there we have that. And finally, we're going to have this in yellow. So there we go. And you see that's really easier and actually simpler. So you can highlight everything and now you can group by simply when you right click, when you select everything, just click on group. All right, so the shortcut is Control G. So when you group this, they become one element. When you click, you have all this, and I can move them around to anywhere. I can reduce the size, increase the size. So this is what we're going to do now to ensure that this is properly aligned. This work is aligned. First of all, group, we want to align our whole composition to our artboard. So when you click on this, all you need to do is go to your alignment panel and ensure that it's showing align to artboard. All right. So we want to align to artboard. We're aligning horizontally and vertically. And that's it. Voila. We have it, and it's as simple as that. So we have our colors popping. I had to avoid these other parts. That's the other shapes here, the excitement or no, because it seems rather complicating to do. Okay, so I don't want to have us do a lot. So also when you're replicating yours, you can also you can try. Let me see what you can come up with if you can do this completely, but just try your best, try your hands on this to make this easier. We're using a color scheme. I'll send us the base color, and for this design we used I'll send us the base color, and I'll tell us the uh color scheme we're working with. Then I'll send us these last color code. I'll just send everything to us so it's easier for every one of us to actually work on the design. Okay, so I'll send this also to the group so you know what we are replicating and what you're going to be working on. All right, so that's it. This shows how to use shape and color and tests at the same time. All right, so remember I told us to keep the very first design we made at the end of the whole class. We're still going to work on that design, adding image, adding colors, and adding more stuff to it from what we've been learning so far. So I hope okay, Nika is adding is asking how did I use. Okay, I'm coming.